should just learn sign language and be done with it. I recorded this entire spiel, and it took me like an hour I had just got a new camera, and it's just kind of like a cheap camcorder, but it's got a microphone attachment, and it came with a microphone, and I forgot to turn the microphone part on. So I had lots of video but no words, and that's kind of the point of this whole thing, so oops. Hello friends and allies, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be doing the 20 questions for costumers in quarantine. Let's just get going. Number 1. What was your first costume? Bonus if you have an embarrassing photo to share. I do not. I don't think I have any pictures of the original iteration of this costume. But I will dress up and show you because I have 2 out of 3 of the original pieces and they still fit me. So that's fun. As you can maybe guess, the witch hat and skirt are the original pieces of this costume. The shirt is no longer with us, it was just a cowl-necked, kind of floppy shirt made out of green crushed velvet, so I have this green velvet t-shirt that I'm wearing in place of it. It basically gives the same sort of look as the original costume. I wore this for Halloween one year. It was really fun. I called myself a pumpkin witch. Obviously I was a witch wearing pumpkins. Very creative. Onward. Question 2. What is your favorite costume you've ever made? This one I will also do some footage of that one. Alright. This is the one I'm most proud of because it's the first full costume that I made entirely from scratch, including drafting my own patterns and all of that kind of thing. It took about a week or so to make, and I actually was able to finish it in time to wear it to a friend's wedding, which was pretty much the only costume I've ever made on time, without rushing. I'm extremely proud of the closure in the front. I wasn't sure how I was going to make it happen because I wanted a center front pleat, but the bodice obviously opens up in the front, and so I had to figure out kind of a way to hide the opening, and I think I did a pretty good job of that. What costume do you dream of making? The perfect formal gown. I don't know what that is yet. I don't know exactly what that looks like, or how it's constructed, or what all is involved, but I didn't really go to any proms. I got married at a courthouse. There has not been a lot of big gala type events in my life so far. So I've always had that dream of wearing the perfect dress. And to top that, I dream of making the perfect dress. And just 100% owning something super fabulous. Yeah, it will probably be a combination of elements from different eras, and I don't know. But the perfect formal gown is the like epitome of costuming that I want to get to at some point. That is my dream. Question number 4. What is a sewing task you love and one that you hate? I'm going to answer this with the same thing for both. I have a love-hate relationship with anything that involves hand stitching. I just want it to be done and I just want to wear it. So hand sewing just makes me grumpy at that point. But on the other hand, like, it's a very beautiful art. It's a very precise, very slow, very methodical craft, and I very much like to do things slow. I like to be able to take my time and not rush and kind of do things at my own pace. I kind of like when things just kind of happen naturally and flow naturally, and however much time it takes, I like that. That's in my soul. But the problem is that everything else about society tends to be so like, do it now, get it done, make it productive, you know, like, it's just so commercialized and so fast, and I don't know why, but it's like conditioned into me that I like can't take the time to do things. That's where the love-hate relationship comes from, is I like want to be able to do things slow and I want to enjoy it, but I feel like I can't. And so that when I have to, it just kind of feels like it's in the way. I want to go slow, I just don't feel like I'm allowed to. Yikes. Number 5. Would you rather sew wool or silk? Both are so expensive, you guys. The price of wool per yard and the price of silk per yard are just so much, or per meter if you don't live in the US. So much. But the thing is, I got several samples of polyester dupioni. I hope that's how you say that. But I got multiple colors of that because that was the affordable one, and I got one sample of this ruby red silk, like the actual dupioni stuff. And it was at the very end of the stack, so I looked through all the polyester ones and I was like, well, these are really like pretty colors and this seems fine and everything, and then I got to the silk one and I was like, damn it. This one's so much nicer. So, yeah. Wool is going to be very sturdy and very cooperative and probably fairly forgiving. So on that front, I would rather sew with wool. And on the other hand, I have very sensitive skin, and I have, like, most of the wool that I've ever encountered has been very, very itchy. So I don't really want to make anything out of wool, because what if it's just itchy and terrible? So I do love the concept of wool. Wool is hard to wash. I imagine silk isn't much easier to wash, but maybe it shrinks less. I'm not really sure. Basically just don't put either one in the dryer. I don't know. These are both a mystery to me. And I would like the opportunity to sew with both of them, but the wool has to be soft, and the silk has to be affordable. 6. Would you rather go to a themed event or pick your own theme event? I'm not sure exactly what this question is asking. If it's asking, like, whether I would rather go to an event of a predetermined theme that is hosted by someone else, or be able to choose the theme because I'm hosting it myself. Is that it? Because if it is, I still have a hard time choosing. I want to do everything. I want to observe everything, and so when I have to do a, like, either or of two good things, I'm like, well, really both. Really, I would like to do both of them. Do I have a preference? No. I want to do all of it. It really just comes down to money, as per everything, you know, in this world that we live in. So, there you have it, I guess. 7 is, would you rather attend a big ball or an intimate dinner? Why wouldn't you attend the ball? Go to the ball, Cinderella. Live your dreams. So, like, I know I've said this before, but I don't know a lot of people, and I don't, like, go out with a lot of people, so an intimate dinner is kind of the only thing that I've really ever, like, that's just dinner. Whereas I've never been to a big, romantically grandiose festive ball, and I would just very much love to do that at some point. Ties right into my make the perfect formal gown dream. Like, if I could accomplish that and be able to wear it to like the most beautiful festivities ever, that would be really cool. 8 is, do you prefer to machine sew or hand sew? And I have answered this essentially with one of our other questions, where I have a love-hate relationship with hand sewing, where I would love to do it, but the machine kind of dominates me for right now. And once I can break free of the machine, I think I'll be able to just do a lot more in general. But right now, the machine owns my life, so that's about it. Number 9, do you like wigs, hair pieces, or your own hair? I guess the short answer is hair pieces are a good middle ground, I think. Because my head is small and my hair is slippery. 10. Name 5 small businesses you like for costume stuff. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna say some of these incorrectly, so I'm just gonna put all the names up on the screen here. There's 6 of them, but the more the merrier, right? 11 is 5 YouTubers we should all check out. I'm the newbie here, so I don't know, check me out. I'm sure we already all know about Morgan Donner, Bernadette Banner, by extension Kathy Hay. I've mostly seen Kathy Hay through Bernadette's videos, but Kathy also has her own YouTube channel. Rachel Maxey, I've watched a lot of recently. I've heard that they have fun there, so. Carolina Zabrowska, super good. Another one who like doesn't really have anything to do with costuming, but I just love to watch her, and I'm wearing her earrings and I have her book in the background, so like why not? Harmony Nice. She does like paranormal stories and informational videos about Wicca and witchcraft, and just some kind of like talk videos that I like to watch. So if you want someone not necessarily costume related to watch, she's my recommendation. 12. Favorite color? Green. I love green a whole lot. Incidentally, one of my next videos will be about how, accidentally, I managed to make all of my costume undergarments in green, and then by, you know, the Xth round of making stuff and making it green, I was like, you know, this has become a trend, and this is maybe something I should talk about. So, coming up, all my undergarments are green. 13. Pearls or sparkles? I'm gonna go with sparkles because I like metals. I don't know, I just kind of feel like I look like my grandma a lot of the time, and I think pearls just kind of exacerbates that illusion that I've just got a grandma face and I don't want to put pearls on it just yet. I kind of want to wait till I'm like 80. Sorry. They look really good on other people. 14. What is a trip you have dreamt of taking? A costume trip, specifically. The Venetian Carnival. That is an event that I want to go to. 1, it is in a country that is not the United States. I want to go to Europe so much. So much. I just think Europe has a crazy cool history, and it's just very old and very, like, grandiose, and I want to be there in historical dress. Fantastical historical dress, too. Not nitpicky, you have to do it a certain way historical dress, but like fantasy historical dress where you can be as like extravagant of a character as you want and no one is going to judge you for it. I like it. I like it a lot. So I'd really like to go there at some point. I also just want to go to like art museums in Italy and stuff. That would be amazing. and I would look at the costumes in paintings and just gorge myself on art. Can I please just do that? Can we just have an art and costume tour of Europe and the surrounding area? Because that would be amazing. Thank you. 15 is not at all costume related. What is this for? What is your favorite cocktail? I don't know a whole lot about cocktails, but there is one that I have been served at a restaurant by my house called Sarna's, which is a great place. The cocktail is called Pure Ecstasy, and I don't know what's in it, but it is very good. And it's in one of like these glasses, and it's got 3 different layers. It's red, white, and blue, I believe. I know blue is the bottom. I assume it's separated by white. Anyway, I don't know what the significance of that is, and I don't know what the flavors actually are or what's in it, but I like it a whole lot, and it gets me very drunk, and it is very delicious. So that one is going to be my top one. But I like a lot of mixed drinks, and I'm very willing to try new mixed drinks. I also like White Russians, I like hot toddies, I like anything with rum and fruit, because how can you go wrong with rum and fruit? And dessert drinks. Can't go wrong with a very fatty, very drunk dessert drink. It's just, they were made to go together, alcohol and dessert. I don't know. Question 16, who is a costumer you would love to meet? I would love to meet Morgan Donner, because I had a crisis the other day. I was making an 18th century shift, and, well, here's the thing. I was going to make a video of me making this shift, and I was like, that's really boring. There's nothing new in this. There's nothing to rehash. Let's just not do a video. Let's just make it and then show it off later. And that seems fine, and I have a solution for that. All my undergarments are green. But as I was in the middle of it, I decided, well, let's make this slightly more interesting and do French seams on the whole thing. And then I got to the underarm gusset, and I was like, you know what? How did this happen? Like, how do I make this? Like, what order of seams do I do to be able to turn everything out properly and do French seams? Like, now I have video content. Now it's the time where I get out my scraps and I do an experiment and I show people how it turned out. And then they know a new thing, and then someone on Instagram commented on a picture I posted, and they were like, hey, you know what? Morgan Donner has an excellent, concise, beautiful video on this already. You should go watch it, and then you will know how to do this thing that you are so baffled by. And I was like, yes, of course Morgan Donner does, because I love Morgan Donner, and she has great tutorials on a lot of things. How did I miss this? What have I been doing? And I was incredibly grateful and incredibly excited, but I no longer had video content to make, because it had already been done in a very lovely way. I would love to meet Morgan Donner just because I think that we would have some things in common. I like her personality. I just like her. I like her very much. I would very much like to meet her and do some sort of... I would like to collaborate on something sometime. So, Morgan, if you see this, hi! I'm a giant fan, and I would love to collaborate with you on something. Or meet up with you someday to do whatever. I'm really embarrassed now. Number 17. Plain or patterned? I had a good think about this, my first run through of this, trying to film this without sound. And I decided that I actually prefer plain, which seems like the boring choice. But on the other hand, I'm a peasant. You can't see. Yeah, you can't really see. It's fine. There's still a lot of like really cool stuff you can do by combining plain things to make something like very texturally interesting, or you just with shapes or lines or whatever. But my favorite pattern is stripes. Depends on the context. 18. Use a pattern or make your own. This is sort of similar to my love-hate relationship with hand sewing, is I absolutely love geometry. It's the best kind of math, the most enjoyable, and so I like, and I'm just thinking about flat patterning right now. I really love all of the kind of very visual math that goes into flat pattern making. It's very satisfying to be able to just know, like, if I do this way, it will fix this three-dimensional problem, and that's really cool. And for draping as well, draping is just such a good sculptural hands-on way of making patterns, and I really love that as well. But just like with hand sewing, it always feels like I need to be faster for some reason, like I need to rush everything. There's just something about having a pre-made pattern that you can just use and whip together a thing that is very appealing. The downside is I have kind of a weird body shape, my waist is kind of short, so patterns are always too tall for me, and that's not very convenient, is it? So I guess in the end I'd rather make my own patterns. But the idea of having a pattern that you just have, that someone has made for you, is a nice idea, it's a nice theory, it's a good thought. 19. What is your favorite era to wear? I'm going to say roughly 15th century. Roughly. But mostly because that's pretty much the one that I have worn already in the past, and it's been very comfortable, and I've enjoyed it quite a lot. Kind of anything that falls under the umbrella of Renaissance I like to wear. But it's very vague, and I don't have a lot of experience wearing other eras, so who knows, I might have another favorite in the near future. Favorite era to make? I, again, don't really know specifically, but I am very excited to start making Edwardian things, which I think is going to end up being kind of my new favorite to wear. We'll see. It'll probably kind of end up being kind of a weird conglomeration of Edwardian and like medieval, but we'll see. I'm also very excited about starting to make 18th century. Number 20 is one thing we don't know about you. For about 9 months, I worked at a fencing club. It was cool. For the dads out there, not fence, but fence. Yes, the fun part was getting to talk to people who clearly hailed from other countries. Initially, there was one lady from Germany, there was these like French twins, and there was an instructor who only spoke Ukrainian, and it was so cool. It was so cool, and there was of course Spanish, and I'm not actually, I think there was maybe some Spain Spanish and some Mexican Spanish, I don't know, but there was so much of Europe in that tiny little place, and I took the HEMA classes, the Historical European Martial Arts classes, for a while, and that was super fun, so there you go, there's a fun fact about me. I know a teeny tiny bit about sword fighting. So yeah, that is all I have for now, and we will catch you next time. Thanks for watching!